here. It's my first video for Sergeant Cam. I'm really excited. Oh my god, why is she doing this? Is she doing it for attention? Like, I literally am just sitting here freaking out about what people are going to think of me for doing this video, but you know what, I'm just going to do it anyway. I'm going to do it anyway because Sergeant Cam means everything to me. So I'm here with my coffee. I've got my t-shirt on that I was wearing yesterday and that I slept in. So I am serving you hobo chic realness this morning. And I'm just going to talk about anxiety attacks. This is about anxiety attacks. Disclaimer, I am not a medical professional. I am not a psychologist. I am not someone who's been trained in mental health, but I have a lot of experience in dealing with my own mental health illnesses, past events, and talking to all of you guys about how you deal with your mental illness, or if you really find it difficult. And I'm just here to offer advice because I have been through this and I kind of know where to start when this happens. I kind of know where to start, I kind of know where to go, and if other people don't know how to ask for help, then ask me and I will try and help you. So that's my disclaimer out of the way, and I'm also going to tell you that throughout this video, I am not going to do the typical, oh, you have depression, why don't you try yoga? I am not going to do that. That is not my MO. I'm going to give you some tips and tricks that I have used, or even just some advice I've got from doctors or psychologists that helped me deal with my panic attacks, and then I'm going to leave it up to you to try them. Some of these I have tried over and over again and they have always worked. Some of them I've never tried, but I actually believe that they could work. So up to you guys, give them a shot if you are suffering with anxiety or having a panic attack. So what is an anxiety attack? What is a panic attack? Again, I am not a scientist, but I do know it's your brain trying to protect you. So back in the day when we were cavemen and we were going out hunting for meat and we were lighting fires and dancing around them naked, we had this function in our brain, in the amygdala, that would release certain chemicals if a tiger or a wolf or any other threat was coming towards us and was going to eat us. And it did certain things to our body to keep us safe. It would shut down our digestive system so that we could conserve energy. It would shut down all the decision-making, executive function in the front of your brain so that you could use all of the other parts of the brain to protect yourself. And it would tense up all your muscles so that if the jaws of the tiger or the shark or whatever it might be grabs onto you, then it's harder for them to actually make any damage. Whereas if you were up and open, it would be quite easy to kill you. So there are a lot of reasons why we have anxiety, but of course in this day and age we do not have tigers and wolves after us. So why does anxiety still happen? And that's just because our brains haven't evolved from where we were as cavemen. They still operate the same way, except this time the werewolves, oh my god, the wolves and the tigers are now emails, they are authority, they are money, they are debt, they are relationships, they are everything in our life that our brain perceives as a threat. All of that stuff switches on and your brain goes, you need to run because you're in complete danger and you're gonna die. Okay. So the first one I want to talk to you about is using a code word. So I am really lucky at my workplace that people know I suffer with anxiety and that my anxiety attacks can come out of nowhere. And I have a code word with my manager so that whenever anything happens, if I'm in a meeting, if something happens and I'm there and all of a sudden my heart starts racing, I can't breathe, I realise that I'm in danger from nothing, but I'm still in danger and I have to leave the room, we have a code word, I say it, he knows it, he covers for me. So if you're lucky enough to be able to talk to your manager about this at work, this is a really good coping mechanism for you to get through day-to-day meetings when they can be pretty scary for someone who has anxiety. And you can have a code word, you can say it in the meeting, leave, go, and just try and breathe and get yourself back together. But also, if you can't get yourself back together and your panic attack is really fucking bad, go home. Seriously, it's just as bad as physical illness. You are entitled to go home and look after yourself. So that is what I'm saying to you. That is what I do, and that is my first tip. Second tip is to try and regulate your temperature. And this can be difficult if you are in work or if you're somewhere where you can't actually access some things to help you. But honestly, you are sick, so get yourself home and try and regulate your temperature. So if your anxiety attack is making you hot, try and concentrate on that. Get some ice packs, put them on your face, put them on your body. Just try and regulate that part of it down. If you're really, really super cold, get yourself into a shower and take a stool, because I know how hard it is to stay standing up when you're having an anxiety attack. It is almost impossible. So take a stool into the shower, sit on the stool, wash your hair, do whatever else you need to do. Or if you can't do any of that stuff, just sit there in the shower and feel the heat. Because if you're cold, you can start to feel a bit safer if you've got that heat, and just keep breathing while you're in there. So my third one is one that I used quite a lot in the beginning when I didn't actually know what anxiety attacks were. I didn't know how to deal with them, and I certainly didn't know how to get rid of them. So I had a method of doing it where I would download these stupid games on my iPhone and I would play them because they were repetitive. You had to do things over and over, and they really were pretty mind-numbing. So those ones were things like Diamond Dash, Cupcake Maker, My Pizza Shop. Bear in mind I'm 34 and this is what I did. I downloaded these apps and I sat there and my heart was thumping, my tongue was swelling, I was sweating, I thought I was gonna die, my heart was racing. But I sat there and I did cupcake after cupcake after cupcake after cupcake. I just kept putting icing on cupcakes, and for some reason, maybe it got me into a meditative state that I didn't know about, but it really helped, so give that a shot. But that does lead me in to my next tip. Get rid of your phone altogether. Overwhelmed, we are contactable 24/7. People want stuff from us all the time, and just get rid of the phone. That's what I normally do. I will switch it off, I will put it in another room, and I will give myself at least 2 hours where I'm not looking at my phone. It's a complete digital detox, and I don't have to worry about any obligations to get back to anyone. Everybody will survive if you don't answer your text messages. No one will die, even you. So that brings me to my next one. Now this one's a pretty cool one because I found it accidentally, and I found it while I was having a panic attack. And I will put the link to it below because I really feel that this lady had some really good advice, and she also managed to convince me that my panic attack wasn't going to kill me. So, Irish psychologist, and she talked about the hyperventilation technique. Now, a lot of the times when you're having an anxiety attack, in fact, most of the times, you really genuinely believe you're going to faint. You're not. You're not going to faint. Now, the one way to test this and actually improve the way that your body is reacting to your brain telling you you're gonna die, you're gonna die, you're gonna die, use the hyperventilation technique. So this is to prove to your brain that if you were to hyperventilate right now, you are still not gonna faint. This tip is not for the faint-hearted. I told my psychologist that I had used this, and she said that I was really brave too, but it was actually a really good technique. So if you are game, this can help you. So the idea is that you forcefully make yourself hyperventilate. And the reason that it works is that you get through, say, a minute of the hyperventilation technique and you realise that you haven't fainted yet. And somehow this triggers your brain to talk to your body and go, yep, we are safe, we are safe, we are safe. And that looks a little bit like this. So there you go, you can laugh at me doing that now. It's also a little bit like a yoga technique from Kundalini yoga. It also is a lot like the technique of breath of fire. So if you are a yoga fan, take a look at some Kundalini practices of breath of fire. It's very similar to the hyperventilation technique, and if that's the way that kind of makes it a little bit easier for you to introduce, have a look at some of those videos and I will link them below as well. My last tip is actually something I've never tried before, and it was from a counsellor who I was talking to who works in community drugs and alcohol here in New Zealand, and I absolutely love him. He spent a good portion of his life addicted to alcohol and drugs. He has been sober for over 10 years and I absolutely love him, and I was talking to him and we were discussing panic attacks and ways that you could deal with them, and he actually told me that his counsellor, when he was trying to get sober and he was having a lot of anxiety attacks, a lot of panic attacks, a lot of the time, his counsellor had actually advised him to will it to get worse. I know it sounds crazy, but here's another thing that's kind of related to that, and this is what happened to me when I first had my first panic attack. I ended up taking myself off to A&E because I was convinced I was gonna die. And I got there and I was telling the doctors, you know, my heart is pounding, I cannot breathe. This has been going on for 24 hours. I'm sweating, my tongue feels like it's swelling, I'm dizzy, I feel like I'm gonna faint, and something massive is gonna happen. I just know it. So they hooked me up to a machine to monitor my heart rate, and it was terrifying. I was lying there topless. I was just in this really strange ward in the reception room where it was just a curtain around me. There were nurses coming and going, in and out, in and out, in and out. My heart was just thud, 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 thud. And the doctor actually said to me afterwards, he said, you are having a panic attack, this is what happens, and your heart rate was 200 BPM. 200 beats per minute. That's how fast my heart was going. But he said something to me that never ever went away, and I always remember this, and you should too. If you're having an anxiety attack and you think that your heart beating so fast is going to kill you, it's really not. Top performing athletes, Olympic athletes, all of those professional sports players, they actually deliberately get their heart rates up to 200 BPM, and that's how they train, and that's how they build their stamina, and that's how they get strong. So that's what he said to me. He said your 200 BPM is completely normal. What would be worse if it was 1 BPM, because then you would really genuinely be dead. This is the other end of the scale, and you're not going to die. Your heart is actually doing something that is perfectly normal for it. It is perfectly part of its functions. If you genuinely believe that your panic attack is going to kill you, what if we actually said to it, come on, do your worst, make my heart explode, make me faint, you know, make me sweat, make me fall over, make me die, do your worst, bring it, bitch. I don't know, I have not tried this, and I really don't want to try it because then I'd have to have a panic attack. But if I was having a panic attack, I think I would give this a go. So that is a couple of tips for me. I don't know if these have been helpful, but I really just didn't want to give you the standard, hey, just breathe, hey, just meditate for a while, because I know how damn scary they are. They are fucking terrifying, and I am not gonna sit here and tell you that it's easy to deal with. So if you enjoyed this video, please like it, subscribe because I'm going to be making more, and comment and tell me how embarrassing I really am. No, please don't. Okay,